Okay, so imagine you're on a boat in the middle of the ocean and you've been sailing south in the same direction for days, months, maybe even years, until you see a wall, a set of stairs. Then it dawns on you that this might be the edge of the world. You climb the stairs and open a door that appears, and you realize your life isn't very different from a TV show or that movie, The Matrix. They say we live on a globe, right? A huge ball spinning in space. And if you live in North America, that means the people in Australia are living in the upside down. They're living like this. But what if I told you that none of that is true? What if we're living on a disc shaped surface under a dome? And the reason we believe the Earth is a ball is simply because that's what we were told as young children. Hey y'all, it's Simi, and today we're wearing our tinfoil hats, or I should say our tinfoil hard hats, because we're digging deep into this flat earth theory. Grab your drinks, get comfy, and let's get into this. As usual, before we go too far down this rabbit hole, let me just be clear, this video is for entertainment purposes only. We're exploring the flat earth theory with an open mind, but also a balanced one. So, if the globe earth is so accepted, why are there still so many people questioning it? For most of us, we didn't verify the shape of the earth ourselves. We didn't conduct any science experiments. We were taught this model as kids, and it made sense based on the explanation or the science that we were presented. Plus, I'm sure it didn't hurt that the information was coming from a source that we trusted, our teachers or scientists. But the issue starts when these institutions continuously lie to us, even if it's just about small things. When experts are constantly contradicting each other and the information that was presented to us at one moment as fact suddenly changes or gradually changes to be fiction in another moment, or maybe just partial truth, that's when people begin to lose trust in these institutions. And that's where the flat earth theory gets a lot of its appeal. Not with the maps or the textbooks, but it gets its appeal with a feeling. A feeling that says, if they lied to us about that, what else are they lying to us about? Lots of flat earth content creators start with that simple message. Don't trust those in authority. They have proven to be liars. They're lying to you about everything, and they're telling you to not trust your lying eyes. What flat earthers say is that you shouldn't listen to these people in authority. You should trust your senses. Trust the fact that you've not been into space and seen the curvature of the earth. Also, believe that they're lying to you with all the images that they show you of the globe and all the curvature of the earth. And they go into detail as far as how they're doctoring these images of the globe. And no, the flat earth theory didn't start with TikTok influencers or the comment section. I'm sure you've heard that for most of our past, or our existence, we firmly believe that the earth was flat. So maybe before we move any further, we need to rewind a bit and look at the history of the flat earth theory. Before modern science and technology, we didn't have a clear way of proving the shape of the earth. What people had were their senses. The ground below them felt like it was still. It didn't feel like it was spinning unless you got knocked over the head. But for the most part, the ground felt solid and not spinning. It felt flat, unless you're on a mountain, but the mountain was on a flat surface. The sun and moon looked small from where you stood from the ground. So early models of the world reflected that lived, tangible experience. Ancient thinkers have debated the Earth's shape throughout history. Some theories had been based on observations of shadows and stars, while other models trusted more what they were able to see and feel. Over time, math, science, navigation, and astronomy made the spherical model more convincing. However, The flat earth theory never fully disappeared. It just faded into the background. A huge thing that can explain flat earth's sticking power is religion. It's about faith for a lot of people. In certain versions of the Bible, the earth is described as having foundations, edges, and a firmament. This is taken literally by some people. So for them, refusing the flat earth model is akin to refusing God. If there is an adversary, if there is a Satan, then his goal would be to separate us from God, our creator. The devil is known as the great deceiver, so it makes perfect sense that the devil would push this globe theory onto humanity. Because if we're just insignificant specks on a globe Earth, floating in an infinite universe, this model removes God's intentional design and purpose for humanity and the Earth. This doesn't mean that if you believe in God, that means you have to believe in flat Earth. Most Christians actually don't believe in flat Earth, but this simply explains why the idea carries so much spiritual weight for so many people. And when belief becomes tied to faith and faith becomes tied to identity, questioning it can feel like questioning everything. Another thing we need to think about when questioning why people still side-eye the globe model is who has the power. Back in the 1500s, religion, education, and science were all mixed into one. The church wasn't just about faith, it ran schools and shaped what people were taught and how they even understood the world. So, when new ideas about the universe started popping up, this shook the very foundation of whole societies. Great thinkers like Copernicus and later on Galileo proposed the idea that the Earth might not be the center of the universe. And that was flat Earth shattering to the church because it was contrary to their teachings. And if the universe works differently than you were taught, then maybe other things do as well. So for them, questioning the globe might not just be about science, it might have been about asking who gets to tell the story and why. Flat earthers are treated like a joke today, like the dumb kid in class. They represent the dumbest of the dumb in a lot of people's viewpoints, but unfortunately, ridicule has a strange way of making people dig even deeper. It makes them double down on their beliefs. And history gives people reason to do that. There have been moments when people questioned the official story time and time again. They were mocked, but later on, it all turned out to be true, and they were right all along. This just shows that ridicule isn't the same as refutation. So when flat earthers are mocked today, they don't see it as proof that they're wrong, but they see it as they're just early to the party, and it takes people some time to figure out that we're being lied to, and they will eventually be vindicated and all the truth will come out. So, what do scientists say about all of this anyways? Well, from a scientific perspective, the globe model is supported by measurements, satellites, astronomy, navigation systems, but flat Earth believers often point out something important. They say, we're told these systems work, right? But most of us can't independently verify them. They bring up things like people have circumnavigated the Earth east to west, but no one has freely circumnavigated it from north to south. They say, they talk about Antarctica. Why is access so limited? Why is travel controlled? And why is it so difficult for the average person to just go and explore? These questions don't automatically prove flat Earth, of course they don't, but they do explain why the theory doesn't disappear. Because for flat Earth believers, the issue isn't just about data, it isn't about facts only. It's about access. Who gets to explore? Who gets to verify? And who is expected to trust the results? These are big questions, and they're not ones I can unpack in one single video. So I'm definitely planning to make another one. So in closing, when people ask why do some people believe in flat earth, I don't think the answer is necessarily that they're ignorant. I think it's more about them being curious. They have a lot of curiosity about the world, and also they have a lot of distrust. They do not trust authority. They think that we've been lied to about a lot throughout history, and so they think that this is just another instance of authorities lying to the public. And they also have a desire to understand the world for themselves. So that's the end of this week's episode. If this topic piqued your interest and you want to dig deeper into the flat earth theory, please be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you know when the next episode drops in this series. But for now, we're leaving flat earth and we're going to explore the Roswell incident in the next episode of Drawing Conclusions. UFOs, aliens, and a long history of government secrecy around what we were told is or isn't out there. But until then, stay curious, stay cozy, and keep drawing your own conclusions. Peace.